In this video, I'm going to share an abundance of ideogram prompts with you that will help you create better designs for your print-on-demand business. Quick bonus tip before we get started. I found most of these prompts by looking through the top designs right here. If you click on this tab, then you're going to see what's been trending today, or you can change it to the past week or the past month as well. And essentially just want to scroll through this and look at designs that might be applicable to print on demand, click on them, and if you like the look of them, then you can click the heart symbol to like this specific design and to save the prompt for your own use further down the line. And you can find all of the designs that you've liked over here in your profile on the liked page. The first prompt I've got for you creates this really amazing style. We've got a split face of an animal with text on the other side of it. And the best thing is this prompt is actually really easy to work with as well. So we've got the start right here, half of a face of a leopard. So you could change this with other animals or whatever you want. And then in quotation marks, we've got the text. So you could also swap out the quote right here that's shown on the right hand side. And you can pretty much leave the rest of the prompt the same. As you can see, it's quite consistent as well. So this is not just a one-time lucky draw result. These are all pretty consistent in the layout and they don't have a parent for the remix feature. So yeah, by the way, all of these prompts will be linked in the description. I'll provide a download link so you've got them all in one place for easy access. Next up, we've got a really good result for a sort of vintage sunset design style. This is for camping with a tent, a river, some mountains in the background. So really neat design. As you can see, we've got a very long prompt at the top and then a magic prompt at the bottom. All of these are actually results with magic prompts. Some of them are not as good as this light version. And that kind of shows to you that you might use the same or similar prompts, but your result won't always be perfect. You might have to try multiple times, use the remix feature. Just using the same prompt doesn't guarantee the exact same results. That's just the nature of AI. But in this case, because it used this magic prompt, that's the one I'm going to provide in the download. And that way you should get as close to this as possible if you want a similar graphic, but still I recommend trying to tweak this a bit and amending it and using the same sort of style for other niches that you might potentially enter as well. Moving on, here we've got a print-on-demand classic, a cat eating ramen, and this is in the kawaii style. That's very popular. I do really like this sort of simplistic result. The cat is actually sitting outside of the bowl, which if you've ever tried this in Midjourney, you know that's not as easy to do with AI as you might think. And yeah, I really like the colors, the simplicity. The chopsticks here are kind of messed up a little bit in the other results. They tend to look better, but then the colors are not as nice, I would say. But yeah, as you can see, quite a decent result. It's quite a longer prompt and definitely has room for customization as well. Notice as well how this is actually a tall format. It's sort of in the portrait style, which I've found a lot of really good prompts and results that are using this portrait format instead of the typical square format. So definitely test that out whilst you're creating your designs with Ideogram. You might get some better results, and they can still work very well for t-shirt design because the t-shirt printing area is actually slightly portrait. So that shouldn't be a problem in your case. But what if you're not designing t-shirts? What if you're wanting to create and sell posters, for example, wall art? Then I've also found a few prompts to help you out because that is still a print-on-demand application. In this case, we've got the double exposure effect, which you see quite often in movie posters, for example. And here we've got a lion as the subject, and then you've got another image embedded into him, which makes for a very cool effect. As you can see, it's quite consistent throughout these images as well. Some of them look better than others, but you get the gist. And this prompt is quite effective. So if this is something that you're into, if you want to sell posters, then definitely give this a try. Moving on to more of a t-shirt design style, I could see this working on a sticker as well, but we've got weekend vibes with a penguin, vintage sunset in the background, and palm trees. Definitely very applicable to print on demand. This we've got a simple base prompt and then a magic prompt written by Ideogram that you can easily customize. We've got penguin wearing sunglasses and sitting on a chair, so that's the sentence that you want to adjust. If you want to enter a different niche, have a different graphic, then I would swap out penguin here as well, of course. And weekend vibes is where you can amend the text. If you want to use a different phrase, a different quote, So yeah, there we go. Really cool style. You might have to try a few times again. I know I've mentioned this, but if you look at some of the other results, they're not as exciting. This is a different magic prompt, as is this one. So yeah, this magic prompt is probably the best one, and that's the one I'm going to use for the downloadable file. But yeah, just so you know, it's the same for me. The first time I use a prompt usually doesn't turn out that great. It does take multiple rerolls to sometimes get some decent result. I'm guessing it was the same for this person. It's just in the nature of AI. At least it's doing most of the work for us, right? There's nothing really to complain about. Previously, it would have taken people quite a long time to create designs like this from scratch. So yeah, waiting a few minutes to have multiple runs of prompts is not a bad exchange. Prompt number 6 is a really creative design. It says a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and it's inside of this footprint graphic. Very amazing. It received a lot of likes, which doesn't surprise me. It's quite a long prompt, but the result is immaculate. Also quite easy to use this for print on demand in terms of removing the background and that sort of thing. Now, this is a very cool, inspirational, motivational quote, but I could see this working with other stuff as well. Like, just think of the hiking niche. You could probably put a lot of hiking related phrases into this and sell them to hikers. I could definitely see that working. And that's not just hiking, right? I'm sure there's other applications for this sort of design style, but since it looks so cool and actually worked out quite well, I thought I'd shout this out. Also, bear in mind, this does have a parent graphic. It's not showing anymore, but that's another tip. Like, if you're struggling to get good results, if something gets somewhat close to what you imagined, use that as a parent. Use the remix feature, and then it will turn out similar, and you'll be able to refine your graphic that way. Right, here we've got another graphic that is probably more applicable to posters. Maybe I could see this working on phone cases. We've got a deer that stood in a forest, very nice lighting. All of these results actually look amazing. They all have different magic prompts, but they are great indeed, except this one has 5 legs. Oh my god. Still, the typical AI issues do appear occasionally, but look at this one. I mean, it's quite a different style, but still with the reflection. Yeah, looks amazing. So I actually don't know what to share for this one because there's so many long prompts. Maybe I'll give you the original base prompt, and then you can use the magic prompt feature to get some of these amazing unique results as well. Yeah, sometimes the reflection looks a bit funky, like in this one, but then other times it actually turns out great, which is surprising. You would think it would struggle with a reflection like this, but yeah, there we go. Amazing style. Definitely very, very cool looking, and I can see this being amended and used for lots of other topics as well. One that just came to my mind randomly is Bigfoot. So yeah, maybe that's one way to use this prompt and apply it to a different niche. Just swap out all the appearances of deer with Bigfoot. Now, if you want to sell a set of stickers, or you just want to have some graphics that look fairly similar, if you want to use them in a collection type t-shirt design, then this prompt is for you. It says a collection of 10 adorable, cute cartoon animal stickers. The animals include a corgi, koala, actually this says cola, a seahorse, a cat, a hamster. So easy peasy, you can swap out the animal types and then have a set of different animals to use in many different things, right? Not just as a sticker set, but this definitely seems to work quite well. You will have the odd imperfection, like we've got a cat with two tails right here, unfortunately, but you can always use the ones that look great and then just erase a few that turned out wonky, and you will still have a set of stickers and similar graphics to use in many different ways. As you can see, this is quite consistent. It does have a parent, but you can obviously use the same sort of process. And yeah, I think this is a neat style that can definitely help you out with your print-on-demand designs. Moving on, we've got a very different style right here. Notice once again, we've got the portrait format. What is it actually? It's 9 by 16 in the dimensions. And this is quite a long base prompt and magic prompt. We've got a captivating charcoal drawing of a seashell that showcases the artist's mastery of fine lines and shading. I love the colors. I really like the sort of detailed, grungy, rustic style. You see the damage on this shell, and this is very easy to cut out from the background. Absolutely love this. Is it the common sort of print-on-demand t-shirt design style? Not really, but in some applications, in some cases, I could see this working really well. Might work for certain animals as well, animal lovers that want more of a detailed rather than a cartoony kawaii style. So yeah, definitely a prompt worth trying out. As you can see, some of the other results look amazing too. Since Ideogram is pretty good at creating designs with longer phrases and quotes, I wanted to give you some text-based t-shirt design examples as well. This one right here is fairly simple but effective. It says break barriers, build strength. It's a gym t-shirt design, and yeah, I mean, this is not super impressive or super groundbreaking, but it's simple, it works, it's easy to read, and I could definitely see this sort of design selling on t-shirts. So that's why I wanted to show it to you. Use this prompt, try it out with other phrases or other types of niches. Or you could swap out the gym t-shirt at the start for other stuff as well. But yeah, definitely cool result. I like the color scheme as well, and the fact that it is quite neatly laid out in this square shape. Watercolor designs is something that tends to be a bit difficult for print on demand or with AI typically, because you get a lot of blurriness around the edges and it's hard to cut out. But in this case, with this Highland cow, it's actually a really good result. And yeah, I love the style of this. It says whimsical Highland cow illustration adorned with vibrant watercolor florals isolated on a white background. What do some of the other results look like? This also looks great. This one also not bad. Yeah, in this case, we've definitely got a difficult time cutting this out and using it in anything print on demand. But yeah, the other three results, all cool. They're all coming from the base prompt. This random design that kind of went astray is a magic prompt. So sometimes you don't really have to use magic prompts, and the original prompt might be good enough. So in this case, I think we've got a great example for an animal design in a watercolor style that is definitely usable for print on demand purposes. I've actually got another 20 prompts to share with you for Ideogram, but before that I wanted to give you some tips on how to level up your Etsy or Shopify stores, or basically anywhere where you need your own mockups. And Placeit is an amazing resource for high quality mockups. They've got an abundance of static and also video mockups, as you can see right here, which can definitely help your store stand out. So let's click on video mockups. There's over 2,000 right here. You can scroll through and you will notice that on the title of the video, it tells you which product type it is and which brand name. So Gildan sweatshirt, that's actually something that I sell quite a lot of on Etsy. We've got a Gildan hoodie right here. And if you want to filter this down further, or if you're looking for a specific brand, you can do that on the left as well. So I know a lot of people sell Bella Canva, for example, so you can tick that checkbox right here, and now you've got a bunch of results and options for Bella Canva t-shirts and some of the other kids products right here. What I also like is that they have a filter right here for Instagram story templates as well as Facebook story maker. Essentially, if you want to advertise your designs on social media, then you have a lot of really cool templates right here that look very professional that you can place your designs onto very easily. Let me show you an example of how this actually works. So let's say this is the video mockup that you want to use. Just click on it and then hit edit. They've just changed the interface right here slightly, but it's still very easy to use. And now we've got a bunch of options to configure and customize this. So see how it says merch drop right here and get the new drip? Well, you can actually affect that text by making a change right here. So you could do new merch as an example, get the new drip. You could even include something like 20% off 48 hours. You've also got different options for the font if you wanted to adjust that. If we want the design on the front, then use your design here, option 1. Just click on that and use upload from your device. And then once you've found the design and clicked on it, it will bring it up in this window where you can adjust the placement. I like to usually bring this up towards the top, and then with this slider you can make the design bigger, and then once you're happy, just hit crop. And you can also adjust the shirt color on the right. So if you wanted it to be black, you can make that change here, and you can even make some further adjustments to some of the graphics that are showing and the background. You could select a different preset right here, but I think this one that's used in this template actually looks pretty neat. So once you're happy with all of the settings that you can change, you then have to click on play or slides. If you don't want any audio in the clip, by the way, sometimes there is audio added to these, just disable the audio with this button and then click play all slides. That is going to pre-render this for a little while. And then as you can see, we get the preview right here. Looks really cool. All the text is adjusted, and then we can hit download if we're happy with the end result, and it will add it to a queue up here where it will be rendered in high quality, and you'll have it available for download in just a few seconds. Next up, we've got an interesting design, very different. This is an American flag. It says Independence Engine Patriotic Mechanic. You can obviously swap out the text. And the interesting thing is that some of the stripes have been replaced with objects, and that can be a popular theme for print-on-demand designs, and it can do quite well. Now, in this case, I don't really think these graphics are too accurate. The prompt actually says that the flag is reimagined with diverse and intricate mechanic tools, replacing the traditional rectangular stripes. So we're looking at mechanic tools. Maybe it's struggling with that, maybe it's too broad, I don't know. But you can obviously swap out this pad, right, diverse and intricate mechanic tools, with anything else. And if it's simpler, you will actually get a better result right here, and you'll have an American flag with objects scattered throughout, and you can use that sort of stuff quite well for July the 4th, for example. So yeah, this is a prompt worth playing around with. Obviously, you can also change the text to something else, or just use the flag stand alone. We've got some other results as well that all look quite sort of retro, vintage. Some of them are a bit messy. I think this one is also quite cool. This is a bit all over the place, and the text is not really readable either. But yeah, definitely an interesting style that I thought is worth pointing out, especially with July the 4th coming up in the near future. Now, another graphic that really caught my eye is this one with the cat. First of all, love the layout, the text right here on one side, and then we've got the cat very big on the right. The cat also looks quite grumpy, so it fits the sentence of I wake up because coffee, not because of work. The prompt is amazing. You can easily change out the text right here. And the subject at the beginning, we've got a Persian cat in this case. Notice how they've used grumpy in cozy pajamas. So they've been quite accurate and been rewarded with it, with this really, really cool result. And by the way, here is a similar example where the person kind of amended the prompt a bit and used a different sentence. So here we've got I woke up because my tea needed me. And again, we've got a grumpy looking cat on the right hand side. In this case, arguably the graphic doesn't look as nice as in the previous one, but you know, as you can see, you always kind of get different results, especially if you're using magic prompts, so that is to be expected. Now, this result caught my eye because we've got a pattern sort of embedded into the text. So that's kind of the main reason I'm showing you this design. It's a fairly simple prompt, but colored with floral patterns right here. Seems to have been enough to have that pattern included in the text as well across all of the different results, and there's no magic prompts. So yeah, simple prompt, interesting looking result, and if this is the sort of style you're after, then this prompt might help you out. Prompt number 15 is completely different, very out there, weird looking style, but I thought, why always show the exact same graphics, right? As you can see, we've got some weird geometric shapes, and then we've got a very sort of detailed looking dinosaur in the front. I think this looks very intriguing. It will definitely stand out in search results. You could still add phrases to this, right? It doesn't have to be just this sort of artsy design. But overall, it's really cool. And it's fairly easy to remove the background because it's quite isolated, these graphics, right? And this is always the same prompt. This one is a magic prompt and it went astray. Whereas the other three results are actually pretty consistent and accurate and look amazing. So check out this prompt. It's also quite detailed in terms of which colors to use. You can obviously amend that if you want. We've got yellow, blue, purple, etc. But yeah, try this out for different topics, and I'm sure you'll be able to create some unique looking designs. Moving back to more text-based designs, this one I thought was very interesting because it has some graphics actually replacing the letters. So we've got best cat mom ever. Cat is replacing the O right here, and we've very neatly got a round design that's sort of decorated with flowers and hearts and cats around the edges. So yeah, very, very cool, interesting, simple text-based style. And I could definitely see this working on a t-shirt. Now, if you're creating designs for kids and you want to create a childish character, then this prompt is for you. Very, very long base prompt right here. It's very detailed. It even says British boy. I don't know if that came through. I don't know. But magic prompt down here is what actually affected this end result. So that's what I'm going to share with you. But as you can see, some of the other results are quite interesting as well, and I could see them working in print-on-demand designs. Obviously, it depends on the niche, right? But if you have something boy-centric where you might need a boy graphic, I think this is a good go-to prompt. Now, if you're already looking to get ready for Christmas, I don't blame you, get it done in advance, then this prompt might be useful because clearly it gives a great result for this cactus, and it's easy to amend because all you have to do is swap out every instance of cactus. Right here, there is a few, and then you'll have a different subject in a Christmas themed style, and then you can still add your text onto that after, or maybe add it into this prompt as well if you wanted to. But yeah, there we go, Christmas themed prompt to get some decent results right here with Ideogram. Right here we've got a very cool combination of styles, I must say. We've got an owl in sort of black, silver, and just yellow eyes, very, very striking. And we've got a combination of tattoo design and Celtic patterns. Very, very cool, very amazing. Like how this is all intertwined, obviously in these Celtic, not Celtic patterns. And I could see that style being applied to many other niches as well, and turning out quite great. This looks very, very symmetric as well, which you don't really expect from an AI graphic, except maybe at the bottom it's not 100% symmetric. But yeah, cool design, great result. Some of the other ones are decent as well, but yeah, overall this is definitely the greatest outcome. So that's the prompt I'm going to share with you. The days are much better if they are decorated with flowers, and that's exactly what happened to this text. Now, what I found interesting right here is that the base prompt actually has emojis in it. So I haven't tried that yet, but if any of you are working with emojis in your prompts, do let me know. That's definitely an interesting trick right here. And it seems to have worked, at least in this example with the magic prompt. It turned out great. A very long sentence that actually is spelled correctly as far as I can tell. And I like how there's like subtle flower decorations that are not too overbearing. You can still actually read what's going on. Notice, once again, we've got the portrait format, so this is quite a lot taller. But yeah, still would definitely fit the print area of a t-shirt quite well. Now, I do love myself a vintage sunset design, and I think this is another great example of one. We've got a vibrant vector t-shirt design featuring a chessboard with a sunset backdrop. So I mean, just that simple base of the prompt right here is something that you can use as a starting point for many different topics. Chess pieces are in a vintage retro colors, and with the black knight about to make a move. So yeah, I never lose, either I win or I learn. So obviously this quote right here is something you could change as well if you want to use this prompt for a different niche. And I think that's a very print-on-demand looking result for sure. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Now, one design style that's quite common in POD, but I haven't seen very much of on Ideogram, is this right here. It's this sort of messy hair bun style, woman wearing sunglasses, but this is quite a decent result in my opinion. Some of the other ones turned out quite cool as well. I quite like this one actually, without the mouth. That is what you see a lot in t-shirt designs. Typically, they don't show the entire face, but yeah, both of these results over here are quite cool. This is the one that I favorited, but actually, yeah, I think this one might be a little bit cooler. So I'm going to give you this magic prompt right here, and that way you can try and create some messy hair-on designs. Here we've got another really intriguing style that is different to the norm, perhaps, and it's a bit more detailed than you might typically see with POD, but I could definitely see it working, and it is easy to work with in terms of removing the background. So we've actually got captivating pop art illustration, which is, you know, interesting keyword. That's also carried over into the magic prompt. It's actually a parent graphic right here, which also looks very, very cool. So you can see this person's gone through multiple stages of sort of optimizing the result, but all of these look really, really neat, to be honest. So going back to the start, I love the fact there's these sort of bubbles around the graphic as well. That's definitely interesting. And yeah, the colors are very vibrant. This looks very adorable with the big eyes. So overall, yeah, amazing result. Some of the other results are neat too. In this case, we've got stars around it instead of the circles. Also very, very neat. So definitely check this one out. Amazing looking style, and I could see it working very, very well for print on demand. Here we've got another collection type of prompt, and I quite like this. This has the watercolor style applied to it, and it clearly shows that if you have multiple graphics of like a similar style, that can make your design look very coherent. I could see this you know, working very, very well with a funny phrase for plant lovers. And yeah, I mean, it's a bit difficult to remove the white in between the in between the leaves right here and stuff like that. But plants is just one example of how to use this. You can amend the prompt, use lots of other subjects, lots of other topics and niches that might not have tons and tons of gaps like these plants right here. And then you will still have a set of watercolor themed graphics to use in the same design or across multiple designs that all have the same sort of vibe, which is always a good thing. A very simple prompt right here. We've got a stylish vector illustration husky with the text, "Sorry I can't, my husky needs me at home." I love the fact this is super balanced in terms of its layout. "Sorry I can't, my husky needs me home." This is all spelled correctly, except the "at" was left out, but it still makes sense, right? And the graphic is very sort of childish, cartoonish. So does it work for every single target audience? Probably not. But overall, this design is very, very neat and balanced and could be applied. Like this is the easiest sort of prompt to amend and apply to lots of other topics as well. Moving on from that, another very simple prompt, and this is very handy for print on demand, this type of result, because we've got this circle in the background, which seems to be very consistent in these results. And if you cut this out, which is very easy, right, get rid of the green, then you can add some text along the top in this sort of round arch, and yeah, it can look amazing. You can have text underneath here, and yeah, simple prompt, very easy to adjust for your other niches. So it says a stylized drawing of a beautiful and realistic Schnauzer and Poodle breed puppy, all black illustration. Super simple. Change it around. It doesn't have to be dogs. It can be other topics as well. It can be animals, it can be objects, hobbies, job titles, whatever, right? Do use this prompt. It seems to get some great results that are easily usable for POD. Here we've got another really nice watercolor result. I like how much detail there is in these, and there's this sort of subtle grain effect as well. The other results as well look pretty cool, although in this case we've got a contrasting color with this pink. So yeah, I mean, super amazing, cool prompt. The result looks fantastic. And I could see this style working for other topics rather than just flowers as well. Now, it might seem a bit counterintuitive, but I've seen quite a lot of cool looking results with prompts that are aimed at logos or getting logos in the result. And we're not really creating logos with print on demand, right? But in this case, the layout is super clean. It's circular. It can look cool as a sticker with a texture effect. I could see this looking very cool on a t-shirt also. So definitely don't discredit the word logo. Is it always going to look right for a t-shirt? No. Like in this case with a magic prompt, no, this doesn't look like a t-shirt design. But if you can get this sort of layout, you could even, right, if you got this layout, you could even erase the text very easily and just add your own text to it. But this sort of badge design, badge logo, very, very cool, very simple, very symmetric. And yeah, definitely see this working in many different applications for print-on-demand products. Now, if you don't really like the very common, flat, simple vector style that you see with print-on-demand, then this prompt might be for you because it's a lot more detailed, but it's still very usable for POD purposes. We've got a captivating vintage-inspired painting of an idyllic Atlantic Ocean sunset. And yeah, great prompt, and lots of details too right here. You can make some amendments and get a different scenery, perhaps different subject in the middle, but the style itself is amazing, looks really cool. And there is a parent in this case, but even if you just use the prompt itself, you are going to get a very similar style. So yeah, try this out. It definitely gets some amazing results. Now, what I like about this result is that it's very easy to remove the background, and the prompt is very simple. So we've got digital art, colorful right side, unicorn face, that's the part that you can amend, then clip art, wide background. Very easy, very straightforward. With the magic prompt, it actually turned out worse. So yeah, I like the result with this basic prompt at the start. And it's a bit more detailed, however, very easy to use for POD. And here we've got a vintage design, a vintage styled prompt. It says, "I'm not old, I'm classic," which I believe is a trademarked phrase, but this is not about the phrase itself. It's about getting the same sort of style. So if you're entering a niche, you want a vintage type of design in this aesthetic, then this is a good prompt to test out. As you can see, the results are fairly consistent. There's no magic prompts. We always get this sort of yellowy, worn out font and graphic with the texture effect overlaid right there, which is pretty cool. So test this out if you're after vintage designs. And last but not least, here we've got a very typical print-on-demand style with a vintage sunset, a graphic in the middle, and text at the top and bottom. The style, very simplistic. We've got some simple plain color schemes, so this is exactly what you're looking for in many cases for t-shirt design. Some of the results are not as good as others, but in general it's fairly consistent. So check out this prompt for some easy t-shirt design graphics. If you want to learn an easy method for selling AI coffee mugs on Etsy, make sure to check out this video next for a step-by-step tutorial.